Okay, so I'm Dixie. This is my channel. My kid hijacks this. Or is it sometimes my kid hijacks this? I can't remember, you know. I'm a woman in recovery, a believer in Jesus, a believer in all the religions, really. I'm not a doctor. I'm not. There's a gal that has a channel and she says this and I'm like, risk management, yes. Not a doctor, not a lawyer, not a licensed professional by any means. I am a person with lived experience, and I am certified to share my lived experience in a professional setting. I took several trainings about confidentiality, what else? Trauma-informed lens, diversity, what else? There's, like the diversity piece is pretty big because we need to be really aware of other people's cultures and, if anything, celebrate the differences. That's my point of view, is that I remember being a small child, and I want to say maybe I was like in the first grade, and we had like a nationality day, and so everybody was supposed to bring like a dish for like a potluck. And I remember seeing lots of different nationalities. I believe there was like Japanese and Hawaiian and maybe like Chinese, and I mean there was just a bunch, and I remember just being fascinated. And then when I was right around that time, actually I think it was a little bit younger, when I was 5, I lived in a little cul-de-sac, and there was an elderly woman who lived alone, and she had this glass case in her, like in her living room when you first go in, and it had dolls from like every country of the world, and they were treasures, and I was fascinated with that too, because each one had like its own, like it would be either like ceremonial or just like their little authentic representing their culture. And I think I knew at a young age that those are things that we can celebrate, and we can share our fascination with each other, because I think that the feeling of like terror and excitement, like thrilling excitement, are the same, right? It's not like a straight. I work on Sundays, but it's only just for a little bit. But I'm living in a motel right now with my adult son, who moved in with me to help me because I am a single mother and I have 2 daughters, and they're complete opposites from each other. The older daughter is a saint. She's just so mellow and obedient. And I thought, I want another one of these, and I got the opposite, and she's me. I can't complain. I'm not complaining. She's me, and I love her. And I try to work with her how it would help, it would have helped me. Talk, Dixie, talk. And so I'm living in this motel because of situations, situations. I have no idea. Is it my fault? Is it someone else's fault? I don't know. Sorry. I get distracted. I have hair clips in my hand. Oh, I have 4 of them. Make it stop. Make it go away. Okay, I'm gonna put them down over here. I watched a video I did yesterday, and I was like messing with stuff. I'm like, why do I do that? So I'm gonna try to do better. But I mean, I have a part, I I avoided a topic. I asked through electronic means, and then I was hoping to get the answer through electronic means. And so when I saw people in person, I didn't, like, ask again. And that was fear and avoidance. And, like, I did my due diligence on the electronic side, but I didn't in the in-person side. And so, I definitely have a part. I know I have a part because I really was in the fuckets. I was like getting pulled back and forth between, I can't do this, fuck it, I don't fucking care anymore, and Lord Jesus, take the wheel, please help me, fuck this shit, help me, back and forth. And so I ended up homeless. I got an eviction notice, and then I went and gave it 30 days because I was like, wait, what is happening? Why am I getting this? And if I'm being evicted, then shouldn't I just give you my 30-day notice? Like, you don't have to force me to leave, like, I'll go. And so it was because I have a housing voucher. And that's another part of my transparency, like, I don't really know how to do it outside of resources like housing, food stamps, I was around people, and this is what I learned. I have no idea how to buy a house. I figured out how to start a business. I have no idea if I did it right. I don't think so. I have a feeling I did not. I think I started out okay when I was doing it by myself, but I'm not trying to say I'm a victim. I'm just, sometimes I'm just not the smartest. The authenticity piece, though, just once you become comfortable with yourself, once you become comfortable with speaking your truth, I can't imagine just going back. It's hard. It's really hard. And I do have the ability to lie. Everybody does. There's like a dial, like in my head, there's like a dial. Lying is totally okay, and lying is freaking horrible, right? There's this dial, and it used to be stuck. It was stuck over on, it's totally okay, and for a long time. And then, I got clean, I got into recovery, and I become really rigid the other way. I went like, lying's okay, to lying's totally horrible, fuck you if you're a liar. And so now I'm to where, like, my dial is, it moves freely. So I don't want to lie. I don't want to carry a lie. That's the part, is like, for me, like, the part where if I have to say a lie, like, that's still, completely transparent. It's still fairly easy. Like, I've had to do it to protect people, and that's when the dial gets turned over. It's like, okay, if I'm protecting someone, then I'll lie, I don't know what you're talking about. That was the old Dixie. But still, to this day, there was a time when people were saying something about somebody I knew. They were spreading rumors about somebody I knew. And, and I was asked, I was like, I'm not that person. Why are you asking me? Even though I may or may not have had the information, I would never say if somebody did or didn't, and okay, so let's just be real. Okay. Cause this is something that we need to talk about. People in general. We need to talk about this. Okay. I have children and I love them dearly, and I have told them this, and it is one of the things that our society says, do not talk about. Do not, whatever you do, talk about this. This is the grossest of the gross. Do not talk about it. Guess why I talk about it? You want to know why? Because other people didn't fucking talk about it. I got herpes. HSV2. That's what I found out. Yep. And I'm pretty sure I got it in recovery. It was like, oh, how many? I think I probably had like 3 or 4 years clean or something. I don't know. But I was overweight and I was lonely, and anyway, it happened. And I remember being devastated because I was like, I went to the doctor. I was like, what is this? What is happening? And it's, you know, like there's that spectrum again, you know, like there's, you know, it could be like severe and it could be minimal. And for me, it was fairly minimal, but still painful. And so I went to the doctor, and they have to test you by blood test. And I was so mad because when I got clean, I went to the doctor and I said, please, for the love of God, test me for every single thing out there. And I thought they did. And so when I went and asked, did you ever check me for that, for herpes? And they were like, no, we don't do that. We don't do it by blood. And I'm like, okay, well, I need you to check because, you know. And I was devastated. I thought for sure, like, my love life was going to be over. I mean, I felt like I was super gross. And, you know, what I learned after that, because I started studying it, because I'm like, what the fuck, you know, like, this pisses me off. I'm in fucking recovery. I learned that, like, so many people have it. This is the fucking elephant in the room. Nobody wants to talk about it. And here's the thing, because horny motherfuckers happen. Sorry, here's the thing. People think with their, you know what, sometimes, and it's really hard for them to switch gears. It's like, okay, I'm in this mode. You want me to switch gears to like responsible and stuff? Like there's a demographic that has a really hard time with that, especially drug users. And so, you know, I promised myself that I would never be with somebody. And if I did, I would tell them, you know, I would inform them and let them have an educated, you know, like response. And 3 times since then, I've had 3 partners since then. And the first one was so hard. It took me, I don't even know, this poor guy, like, it took me like 15 minutes to get it out. Like, I cried. He was like, what is wrong with you? Are you dying of cancer? I have to tell you something, because I really wanted for our relationship to move forward, and I didn't want to. And so, you know, and I finally spit it out. I said, you know, like, I have herpes, and, you know, like, I just want to be responsible, and I take this medicine, and they say it's supposed to reduce the risk, but it's still your choice to know, you know. And then the second one wasn't so hard. It was, you know, like, the response that I got the first time was, I thought that person, that he was gonna get up and run away, you know, like, what the, get away from me, don't touch me, you know, our imaginations. And but he didn't. He was like, wow, you know, like, I really respect you for sharing that and being open and honest, and I know it takes a lot of courage, and so that helped me, you know, like, those kind of positive reinforcements help me when I'm choosing to do something that's outside of my comfort zone, because I know that it's the right thing to do. Thank goodness, like, my comfort zone isn't as skewed. So the authenticity is being honest and crying through it, you know, and telling them that is really hard. But I want to emulate the person that I want to be, who I want to be. And so, and then the third guy it was a lot easier. I was like, hey, this is the thing, you know, but I have been celibate since then. It's been quite a while, a long time. And that's because that's not what's important, you know, like I've been there, done that. I've experienced plenty of partners that, you know, it's just not that exciting. I'm gonna stop talking about that right now. Okay. So authenticity is important, and it's uncomfortable. And even when you're used to it, there will be things that will happen. And something that I've promised myself and I've had to keep is, you know, sometimes you don't say anything that's like that, lying by omission. Sometimes it's like, it's kind of better to do that. Like, especially when it comes to, you know, like when we say in the steps, you know, like, except when to do so would injure them or others. But my belief is that if someone asks, if they have enough knowledge to ask, then they know something. And it's just an insult to their intelligence and their spirit to lie and continue to lie. And so there have been times when it's really uncomfortable, and it took me a minute, you know. It's like, oh, okay, hold on a second here. I gotta get my brain to work with this. I gotta get my brain to be okay. And so yeah, that's some authenticity I have for you. Hey, you know what? I think I'm gonna have another little series called, like, this old lady's more G than you. I don't know. How to be a G from this old white lady. Like, something that bothers me, okay? And it has bothered me for a long time. I'm just gonna spit it out. You guys ready? Rat stories. Fucking snitches get bitches. All of those stories. They're fucking dumb, okay? Look, I've been in that world, been there, okay? I get it. It is like, there's a lot of talk about snitches and rats and stuff like that. And they'll talk about, like, oh, so-and-so's a snitch, so-and-so's a rat. And, oh, and this person was a rat, and this is what we did to them. And I listened to it. I listened, and it really fucking meant a lot to me, okay? It really meant a lot to me. I did not want to be that snitch, okay? And I remember I had a boyfriend, and he was wanted, and the police literally blew up our house, thinking that he was inside. They told me he was inside. I thought he was inside. I went to go get my check, and when I came back, there were cops in the driveway, and they were like, hey, come here. And long story short, they blew up the house, and afterwards told me, you know, like, they had a robot going in there and stuff with, like, motion detectors, and they told me that they heard a gunshot, that they believed that he had suicided, and they really needed to know, like, what the layout of the house was, because they were trying to figure out what was behind this one door. And so, I mean, like, I had been there for hours, and I don't remember how many hours. It was long. It was dark by the time they were done, because they detained me. And so they gave me a piece of paper with what they thought the layout of the house was, and I was like, No, I rip off the piece of paper and I draw it, right? I'm like, okay, this is where the door is. This is the kitchen. This is the bedroom, blah, 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 blah. And thinking, I don't want to, I mean, like, you're going to have to find his body. I don't want to find it. Like, this is where I live, but anyway, it was insane. His wife was in a truck. Right, they put 2 trucks nose to nose with me in one cab and her in the other. And they were like, do you know who she is? And I'm like, no, I don't. They're like, that's his wife. And I'm like, I don't care, dude. Like, I was married too. It's like, that's my truth, okay? But it fucking came back to haunt me. Like, these motherfuckers, this dude, he got out. Okay, criminals are freaking smart. He figured it out. He heard something on the radio, or heard something. Oh yeah, because he had a scanner. And he figured it out. And so he ran out the front door. I had built a fortified, like, thing. So he couldn't get in the door. And so yeah, he got away. I didn't know. I thought he was dead. Everybody thinks I'm fucking out there signing papers or some shit. I don't know. The whole neighborhood's out looking. The cops tell me I'm like, can I go? Can I go yet? They're like, yeah, actually, you got to come here. Put me on the front step with the fucking spotlight. Okay, I'm not even kidding you. There's a fucking spotlight shining on the house, Have me go up on the porch. It's like a stage. Give me a business card and shake my fucking hand, dude. And I am like, what? I just want to go, Like, can I go? Can I go, please? And so I lived with that fear for so long. I thought for sure that they were going to kill me. And I couldn't leave. I had to, in my heart, I had to prove that I was not a snitch. I had to prove that I was not a rat, and I didn't rat on him, that I was loyal to a fault. But a lot of stuff happened after that. I'm still here. Almost died a couple times. And that's why I know that God's real. Spirits, angels, they are real. I don't know how I survived it. I was in a freaking attic bedroom, over 100 degrees. I don't even know how hot it was. They gave me a hot shot. I passed out. I woke up. I don't know how many days later. My lips were so dried. They cracked so deep. I made it down to the bathroom and I peed like brown. I was like, it hurt so bad. And they fucking left me there to die. So, the rat stories, like that left me with trauma. And then fast forward, I hear more rat stories. And so I'm like, hey, this ain't never happening to me again, ever. And so one time I'm at a guy's house. He's just like my compadre, right? Like there's nothing between us. But he felt bad for me because I was homeless and it was like freezing cold outside. And he like put me, like, this is my truth. He made, like, there was like a little area where I could be warm in the garage, and he like used the vent from the heater to like go through this area to like warm it up. And I had to be in there like when his wife was home. And that's I want to stress, like I have been with married men in the past, like that's my truth. But this one, I mean, I wasn't. He was my compadre. Like, he was looking out for me. And so one day, his wife was gone, and I was in the living room, and some chick came over. Some chick and a guy came walking over, and they were like sitting in the living room. I sat out there for a little bit, and I was like, you know, like making small talk and stuff. I can't remember what her name was. I don't know. I can't remember. But like, his kids come home, right? His kids come home from school, and then shortly thereafter, the cops are knocking, and I have no idea what is in this house, dude. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm like, I am not gonna be a rat. So I'm like, they asked me that I had warrants, right? So, I was getting arrested for warrants. Anyway, I was already in fucking handcuffs. I was already in the fucking cop car. I was gonna talk, and then finally they were like, we want to know about this rifle. We found this rifle. What do you know about this rifle? And I'm like, all I know about some rifle is that there aren't enough pieces for it to work. That's all I know. I know that there's something in there that like don't have no pieces, don't have the thingy to do the thing. And then I added, anyway, it's mine. And stupid, right? Whatever you find in there is mine, is what I said. All of it's mine. My dad was so mad at me when I told him that. But that's what I did. That's what I did. Because I didn't want to be a rat. It wasn't even like I was afraid of what, like, kind of physical things that could happen to me. It was my integrity. It was my, you know, like the code, the honor amongst thieves, you know, it was like really important to me. And so I took, I mean, like, I don't know. They ended up telling me, you know, like they found some like cocaine in the couch and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I can't remember. Oh no, maybe I said it was that girl's. I don't know. I can't remember. I was like, I don't know. And now I look back, I kind of think she was like an informant or something, but maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. I shouldn't put that on people, but yeah, I got a possession charge and stuff like that. And I took the charges, you know. I took the charges because I was a fucking ride or die. That's my compadre. He had fucking stuck his neck out for me, and I was gonna stick my neck out for him. And fast forward, you know, like a year, maybe more, I finally end up getting swooped up. I'm with him. Different place, different house, not his wife's. They, you know, like that whole thing blew up because she's like, who is this and why is she, you know? And so, I finally get hemmed up and they keep me. And I sat there in the jail, pregnant, you know, somebody else's kid. And nobody put money on my books. Not 1 cent. Nothing. Not 1 iota. Nothing. No ramen for me. No shampoo. No nothing. I washed my hair with fucking soap until somebody was I was saying discharged, but somebody was getting released and they gave me their stuff. They were like, oh, here, you can have this and this and this. And the guard looked the other way. Because they felt bad for me because I'm like this pregnant chick. I was there for my whole pregnancy. And I got a lot of time. I sat there for 7 months and thought about those rat stories. I thought about the predicament that I put myself in. I thought about all of it. And I met a cop one time after I was assaulted on Mother's Day. I won't get into the story, but I tried to get away because I didn't want to tell, you know, and I'm a criminal, you know. Well, I was. I'm not anymore. Recovered from that. But you know, like you don't snitch. I was still in that, you know, like I ain't snitching. And so the cop, you know, was like, hey, sorry, I touched the cord. The cop was like, hey, we already know. Like, we already have a bunch of witnesses, like, because we were on the street. We were outside, dude, and this fool grabbed me up by my neck, picked me up off the ground. I remember my little feet going, He sets me down and I run, right? And because of my mouth, I said some things. But still, it's not, no matter what someone says, like, so the cop is like, like, we already know, like you, and I'm like, I'm not, you won't get me to say nothing. Nope, I won't say anything. You're not going to subpoena me for no grand jury. I'm not going to say anything. And so the cop was finally like, okay, I can respect that. And I was at strangers' house, people who had, like taken me in to protect me. And he was like, where are you going to go? And I told him I have a car. It's down, like a few miles this way. And he's like, I'll give you a ride to your car. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so I'm in the back, you got to sit in the back. I wasn't handcuffed or anything, but I was sitting back there and we're driving. And I remember like through the mesh, I could see his eyes in the rearview mirror. And he looks up at me and he goes, he's like, you're different, I gotta say, he told me like the way that cops are, like that they are loyal to a fault, that they will like have each other's backs no matter what, right? And that they find it really sickening when the criminals be turning on each other like that. He said, how did he put it? Like, he was just saying, the cops wouldn't do that. And when we see people telling, and he said, and it's the ones you would never suspect. He's like, it's the ones you would never suspect. They're the ones that are telling. And so I had that in my mind, when I'm sitting in jail. I had some things in my mind rolling around. I started thinking about it and I'm like, this fucking shit's fucking bullshit, dude. Are you kidding me right now? Okay, so I finally got, like, I turned it around and looked at it and I was like, these motherfuckers let me take the charges? I mean, okay. I started thinking about, all the other people who took charges for people and all that, and I started thinking about it. I'm like, the people who be asking for other people to take charges for him, because that guy that left me for dead, I was ready to go to federal prison for him. I was ready to say whatever he had was mine. It wasn't. And so I finally got to where I was like, rat stories are dumb as fuck. Fuck you and your fucking rat stories. Sorry, my potty mouth. But like, eat a dick, okay? Like, no, I'm done with the rat stories. And then I'm like, you know what? Epiphany, maybe, if you fucking doing something you don't want anybody to know, don't fucking tell people. Ooh, what the fuck, dude? Don't do shit around, like. So now, when I meet kids, I'm like, yeah, I know, I see you. You want to be gangster. I get it. I was fascinated with gangsters too, right? Well, people have forgotten what a real gangster is, right? Real gangsters they're not disrespectful. Real gangsters, like, take care of theirs. They don't tell people what they're doing. They, like that kind of stuff. And so I just, yeah, that is an authentic story by me. Fuck the rat stories. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and when my ex-husband, I told him when we got together, I'm like, check it out, dude. Look, like, I'm hood, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if you ever put your hands on me, I'm gonna tell. I am not keeping secrets. I won't do it anymore. I'm in recovery and I don't do that. I don't want to get in. I don't want anybody to put their hands on me. I have a habit of picking guys who are like bad boys, thinking like, oh, but he loves me. How special. And then my mouth, they put their hands on me, But like, even no matter what someone says, I told this dude, the guy that picked me up, I told him to go wash some socks. If you know, you know. Go wash some socks. He said, trigger. Anyway, so I had to go to work. I've been out here for almost an hour talking to my car, my camera. I have seen people walk by and they're probably like, this chick is freaking nuts. But yeah, that's my story. Authenticity and rat stories. Okay. So stop telling rat stories. Stop talking about so-and-so's a rat. You're a dumb fuck. Okay? You the dumb fuck that fucking told them or had somebody with you when you did some dumb shit. You know? Maybe don't do dumb shit. I think that's probably the moral of the story. Don't do dumb shit. Don't commit crimes. It's not worth it. It's not. Nobody wants, that's us. I teach the other side. Really, people don't really want to be there. I didn't really want to be a criminal. I wanted to survive. You know, I wanted to survive. And I was not capable of holding a job. I was not capable of doing those things. And when you're not capable and no one's helping you, you get creative. And so that's what I tell people. And that's why I'm really big about social services, because, you know, it was actually one of the cops that blew up my house. Okay, it was a rental, but one of the cops that blew up the house where I was living few years later. I'm in the backseat of his car because I'm getting picked up for a warrant. And he looks at me in the rearview mirror and he goes, you know what, Dixie? He's like, I don't understand why you run with these people. I don't get it. He said, you're different. He said, you know, I could see you being a pillar of society someday. And I don't know if I said anything. I can't remember if I said anything. But it stuck. It stuck with me. That was a seed. Another seed was one of the cop that was in charge of the blow up of the house. I ran into him a couple times, and his smile that he saw that I was still okay. Oh, it's gonna make me cry. Because there's people that they see through the mask, you know, and they see the good people that we really are. And so that's what I try to do for people, because the mask part is just the brokenness. So it's time to stop. It's time to start joking around. I gotta go get my camera. Gotta get my computer and go somewhere where I can work. Keep coming back. It works if you work it.